speaker है Mr. Amit Maurya, graduate scholar from Satyawati College, Morning, University of Delhi, and he will be speaking on the topic refugee crisis and children. So Amit, stage is all yours. Please come and present your talk.
Thank you, Manthan sir. And a very auspicious evening to one and all present over here. This is Amit Maurya, and first of all, I'm very sorry for the delay due to my technical issue. So, coming to my introduction, I have done graduation from Satyawati College, Delhi University. I would like to thanks to our guest of honors, Mrs. Morami Datta ma'am, for their precious time and their presence. And also thanks to the GSTS team who provided me this opportunity, and especially to Manish Kamwar sir and Sanjay Bhatia sir who helped me throughout the journey. So coming to my talk, without any further delay, whose topic is refugee crisis and children's. Coming to the reason why and how I choose this topic. So I choose this topic learning from my life experience. Like I am a student and I am from Fatehpur district, Uttar Pradesh, but currently living in Delhi for my studies. This creates a feeling like I am a temporary migrant here who feels the pain of separation from parents as well as from native environment. In fact, most of the peoples in Delhi are non-natives, and this makes me realize that what kind of pain children actually feel when they get displaced, taking consideration of the international scenario. The main objective of my this talk will be to present the vulnerable condition which children faces as refugees and further some remedies to address the root cause of the issue. So let's begin with my talk. That is international. अगर हम बात करते हैं international sphere की, which is an state of anarchy. अगर हमारा जो इंटरनेशनल स्फेयर है वो एक एनार्की है, वो वैक्यूम है जहां पे सारी कंट्रीज अपनी हेजेमनी स्टैब्लिश करना चाहती हैं थ्रू देयर वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर इन दिस होर्ड ऑफ एक्वायरिंग पावर. और ये पावर को कैप्चर करने के लिए कंट्रीज ऑफन कम इनटू द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विद ईच अदर. It has a various impact on the countries, like there is an impact on their economy, political order, and also social structure. One such outcome of the conflict is refugee crisis, which is because of direct confrontation between the two countries, leading to mass exodus of the people. ऐसा कहा जाता है कि injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Getting refugee title is not voluntary. ये उनकी मजबूरी है. It is a compulsion of them. The most depressed were the women, children, and all the men also. But the condition is manageable for the men. In this talk, I will highlight the impact on the children via mentioning various dimensions. तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन हम सबके सामने आता है कि रिफ्यूजीज होते कौन है, और ये बाकी कुछ ऐसे लीगल टर्म्स हैं जैसे इलीगल माइग्रेंट्स, असाइलम सीकर्स, इंटरनली डिस्प्लेस्ड पीपल, रोहिंग्या. हाउ आर दे डिफरेंट फ्रॉम देम? So coming to the 1951 Refugee Convention, which defines refugees as any person who is owing to well-founded fear of being persecuted for a reason of race, religion, nationality, and member of a particular social group or a political opinion, is outside the country of their nationality and is unable or owing to such fear is unwillingly to avail themselves of the protection of that country. So in simple words, अगर हम साधारण सी भाषा में बात करें तो refugees are those who have been forced to leave their country because of war, violence, persecution, and seek safety in another countries. While illegal migrants are those migrants who enters or stays or work in a country without legal authorization. They can be voluntary as well as involuntary. Coming to the asylum seekers are those persons who has left their country of the origin and formally applied to asylum in another country. That is basically a शरणार्थी. अगर हम इंटरनली डिस्प्लेस्ड पीपल की बात करें, ये वो लोग हैं जो फोर्स किए जाते हैं अपने होम से टू लीव देयर होम बट रिमेन विद इन देयर ओन कंट्री में ही रहते हैं. The point is not that we are segregating it into the categories and making differences. It is about their lives and basic necessities, which get often ignored by the political representatives, leaders of the developing countries, as well as superpowers. The point is, are they forgetting human civilization? हम अपनी सभ्यता को क्या भूल रहे हैं? हम इंडियंस, हमारी जो सभ्यता है, हम भी एक बहुत बड़ी सभ्यता से बिलोंग करते हैं, जैसे दैट इज इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन। और अगर हम इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन की बात करें तो उस टाइम पे भी, एंशिएंट टाइम में भी मेसोपोटामिया सभ्यता भी थी, जहां पे लोग इजीली माइग्रेट कर जाते थे अगर उनको अपनी रहने या सर्वाइवल में, एग्जिस्टेंस में दिक्कत आती थी, तो वो दे कैन इजीली माइग्रेट। बट नाउ द सिचुएशन makes them worse and confined to their own territory and forced to migrate, and often they are unaccommodated and left without giving them values. तो यहाँ पे बात आती है कि नेचर की अगर हम बात करें तो नेचर नेवर डिवाइड्स अस। नेचर ने हमें कभी नहीं बांटा। इट प्रोवाइड्स अस क्लीन एयर, वाटर, एंड वी ऑल आर ह्यूमन इन फ्रंट ऑफ द नेचर। Gandhi once told that there is everybody's need, and there is enough for everybody's need and not for everybody's greed. It is the political boundaries which segregate us. It is wealth who divides us. It is the race who disconnect us. It is the politics who divides us. And despite having important role, if done politics in a right manner. Refugees not only include children, women, men, it also includes the children who are in a developing stage. It also includes the children who want love and affection of the parents. It also includes the children who is yet to born. And how we can such ignorant about the situation despite having refugees camp in various countries also. About the, अगर हम इनकी सिचुएशन की बात करें तो दे स्टिल फेस एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्राइसिस, स्ट्राइव फॉर वन टाइम मील, स्ट्राइव फॉर एजुकेशन एक्सेट्रा. इज दिस डिमांड टू मच इन द era where countries moving to space, moving to moon, exploring various new technologies, getting into space, preparing nuclear weapons, which is a weapon of mass destruction and also involved in the arms race. If we consider संविधान, अगर हम संविधान को मध्य रखते हैं to which codifies rule of the law in it and serves as a rule book for the country. And every country's constitution is a will and aspiration of their citizens. Hence, it is obligation of the state to address the problem of the people. अगर हम वही constitutionalism की बात करें, संविधानवाद की बात करते हैं, it is far more beyond just creation of the constitution. It has certain features which are common in every country's constitutions, like popular sovereignty. लोग प्रिय संप्रभुता की बात करते हैं, जिसका मतलब होता है कि अल्टीमेट जो पावर होती है वो पीपल्स के हाथ में होती है. So we have to ponder upon the commonalities. Hence, countries should come on the common platform में उनको आना चाहिए to address this problem and provide the basic necessities of the life and uphold their human rights for their existence in the society and continue their holistic development, as humans holistic development happens only in the society and it can never be happens in isolation. Coming to the major causes, like what are the major causes of the refugees? Peoples are compelled to become refugees. Number one, that is conflict and the war. अगर हम बात करें conflict, ये एक बहुत common cause है जिससे लोग refugees की category में चले जाते हैं. Like in कुछ केसेस में तो ऐसा भी होता है कि peoples become refugees literally overnight when violence erupts in their country and when there is a political unrest in their country. अगर इसके कुछ हम एग्जांपल्स लेते हैं तो सीरियन रिफ्यूजी क्राइसिस, which is world's largest refugee crisis as we enter in 2024. Ongoing crisis in Afghanistan, 1 out of every 6 refugees originate from this country. अगर हम February 22 को रिमेंबर करें तो escalated conflict in the Ukraine that displaced nearly 5.8 million refugees in last 2 years, followed by South Sudan, Myanmar, and etc. A large number of the peoples are forced to flee their home for many reasons, not just because of the war. They are because of the hunger, poverty, and persecutions also. इसका अगर हम example देखें तो Venezuela refugee crisis, जो कि world की largest refugee crisis है, driven by economic collapse and widespread hunger. वहीं अगर हम Rohingya refugee crisis की बात करते हैं तो Muslim minority group in Myanmar have faced the decades of systemic discrimination and statelessness and targeted violence. अगर हम क्लाइमेट चेंज की बात करें तो इन रिसेंट ईयर्स हमने देखा कि क्लाइमेट चेंज हैज बीन रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज अ मेजर फैक्टर इन द ग्लोबल रिफ्यूजी क्राइसिस. लाइक मोस्ट ऑफ द आइसलैंड नेशन सफर फ्रॉम दिस सिचुएशन. वी कैन विटनेस दिस इन द इंसिडेंट दैट इज Indonesia is trying to shift their capital from from earlier to next place because of the sea level rise, and this not only creates the problem for their countries but their citizens and peoples as well. कमिंग टू द इम्पैक्ट की चिल्ड्रंस पे क्या क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ते हैं, तो ये ऐसा कहा जाता है कि नो वन पुट्स देयर चिल्ड्रन इन देयर बोट अनलेस द वाटर इज सेफर देन द लैंड due to various conflict, whether it is refugee crisis or Gaza-Israel war, Russia-Ukraine war within the Myanmar, or we also witness regime change in Afghanistan. There is a widespread suffering, anxiety, and distress among affected children, many of whom have been separated from their families, friends, and had schooling disrupted, and many more such things. बिफोर मूविंग टू द इम्पैक्ट्स, मैं आपको एक यूनिसेफ, एक यूएन की बॉडी है, उसके बारे में बताना चाहता हूँ, जिसका फुल फॉर्म है यूनाइटेड नेशन इंटरनेशनल चिल्ड्रंस इमरजेंसी फंड, जिसको क्रिएट किया गया है यूएनजीए के द्वारा टू प्रोवाइड बेसिक हेल्प टू द चिल्ड्रन रिफ्यूजीज ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. I will use him data in my further lecture. So coming to the impact, feeling of insecurity and constant red alert, UNICEF told that children in the frontline cities have been forced to spend 3,000 to 5,000 hours, which is equal to almost 4 to 7 months, sheltering in the basement and underground metro station in both Russia and Ukraine as well. Winters in the north areas make situation more havoc. Similarly, the noise of this siren and explosive put them in a terror, which leads to high low BPs and in that age group, and also often they get caught in the explosives. Similarly, in Israel-Gaza conflict, children were insecure all the time as they have grown up with food insecurity, unreliable supply of electricity and drinking water. This all puts the forward the question that is right to basic needs, that is food, shelter, cloth. The most important, that is clean and fresh air, which get polluted due to explosives, give rise to respiratory diseases as well. Coming to the education aspect, according to Ukraine government, more than 3,800 educational institutions in the country have been damaged. Most of the children studying online. Other attend school in 5 metro stations, which have been converted into underground schools. You can imagine what kind of situation children faces due to the conflict. Similarly, अगर हम गाजा की बात करें, इजराइल गाजा की कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की बात करें, तो more than number of children are dying and scores of the schools have been shut down. It became a graveyard for the children. According to UCHA Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, अगर हम इस डेटा की बात करते हैं, तो अप्रॉक्स 40% ऑफ द स्कूल्स इन गाजा शट डाउन एंड डिस्ट्रॉयड. अगर हम नंबर्स में इसकी क्वांटिटी देखें तो अप्रॉक्स 280 schools and colleges destroyed, and UNRWA run schools also get destroyed, and most of the teachers also migrated from this place. This all grievously affects to the millions of the children. This brings a concern about the socialization of the children and the isolation caused. Many affected may affect the conscience of the children displaced. This problem gave rise to psychological scaring, and his mental critical ability to think and act rationally also get deteriorated. The classroom development course, which plays an important role in the holistic development, they never gather with their teenagers and were in constant fear and of isolation. Despite these are the consequences, there are other consequences like children often face trauma, and this ability to concentrate and learn also get restricted due to the trauma, and lack in psychological support service in refugee camp makes the condition more worse. And there are other problems also, like overcrowded classrooms make them unable to learn peacefully, and language, there is also a language barrier, like most of the refugees are from different countries, and they often face the language barrier, like how to grab the knowledge which was dictated by the teachers and the professors and others. And economic barrier as well, because most of the refugees were unemployed, so they faces lack in the money, which make their condition worse to not take education, which is a basic need. Coming to the parents and children separation and psychological impact due to the conflict, children and parents often get separated. 1 month in the war, in the Ukraine war, displaced around 4.3 million children, and also more than 2.5 million were internally displaced. And in this rush, most of the children get separated from their families. In Israel-Gaza war, as per humanitarian aid group, around 1700 children, 17,000 children, sorry, are unaccompanied and separated. The data is of initial few years and few months, but we all are in 2024 and we can imagine how much devastation happens till now. According to UNICEF survey, half of 13 to 15 years old children have trouble sleeping. They are not taking the sleep in a good manner, and 1 in 5 have intrusive thoughts and flashbacks, which are typical manifestation of post-traumatic disorder. These conditions affect both children as well as parents. The data shows that parents also suffering from high level of the anxiety, excess fear, phobias, sadness, that at the time when parent support to the children is more needed. Half of the parents surveyed report that they are in fact struggling to support their children. There is a psychological impact also. In the age of learning, children witness such devastation and mass killings, which can impact their brain functioning. There is a high chance that they can indulge in the criminal related activities. अगर हम refugee camp की बात करते हैं, तो there are various camps related problems like food, health, shelter, and sanitation. Also, due to scarcity of the refugees camp, they often deprived from the basic necessities. अगर हम Democratic Republic of Congo की बात करते हैं, over 9,48,000 refugees were there, and South Sudan crisis displaced 4 million people, and the ratio of displaced population, हम इस डेटा से अनुमान लगा सकते हैं कि जो रेशियो है displaced population to the refugees camp is very high to sustain such large population. In Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh, where 9 lakh Rohingya refugees resides, faces water scarcity during dry seasons also. Unaccompanied refugee crisis who fled from their homes without the presence of parents and legal guardians, they are at the more than double the risk of the violence, explosives, and abuse also. In USA, as of mid-2024, approx 7,762 unaccompanied children are in the federal care also. They often face the risk like sexual violences, especially girl child. Nutrition is a problem for their children, and babies in the camps like Myanmar refugees faces lack in both calories as well as nutrients. Coming to the multilateralism that is working in this regard, that is UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugee Crisis and Human Rights Commission. They are working in this field. It is more about supporting the government. It is controlling the situation, but the root cause remain unaddressed, that is resolution of the conflict and the war and accommodating the refugees. Wars and conflict always comes with devastation. It can never be beneficial for any country, as it required unchecked resources as well as lives of millions of the people. In between conflict, most suffered ones are the civilians and the children, etc. Some initiatives like these multilateralism took, like complementary with the government programs. UNHRC worked with the humanitarian recovery developmental actors. UNHRC carried out intentional surveys also, other assessment to monitor and protection risks, etc. But need to work on the addressing root cause. You can more study about their achievements in their sites, but my main focus is how to address root cause and why there is a need to address root cause. Coming to the question now, which is more important and which needs your attention, that is, now the question arises and you all are thinking that why countries will solve this problem and what are the benefit often countries will get. Number one, that is, there is a compulsion for the countries to resolve this issue because of fear of regime change, as influx of refugees without proper accommodation may damage countries' political order due to Nazism and fascism, which is over nationalist ideology. We can witness this situation in our history. हमने अपने इतिहास से भी सीखा है that Israel becomes Jewish state because of unchecked, uncontrolled action and policy paralysis. So coordination must be needed. Number two, coming to the inevitable nature of the refugees, that is, every lives matter Peoples are well concerned for their families, like we Indians struggling whole life to provide good and sustainable life to our families. Hence, it is inevitable that they will migrate to other countries, and if they feel existential crisis if they feel existential crisis like unsustainable life, they will often migrate to other countries. This is evident, like despite electrocution or fencing of the border, the influx of the people is still happening without concerning for their lives. It is human right compulsion of the countries that is, as I discussed before, the principle of the constitutionalism. संविधानवाद की मैंने बात की, जो कि बात करता है पॉपुलर सोवरेनिटी, जो कि उसका एक वन प्रिंसिपल है जिसपे पीपल्स आर अबव. So why countries should not make the rules and regulations for their peoples? The concept of state and territory comes very late, around 17th century, mid of the 17th century, with the signing of the Treaty of Westphalia, the states and the territorial concept emerged. But before, अगर हम ancient की बात करें, जहाँ पे human civilization exist करती थी, Mesopotamia जैसे Indus Valley civilization, they live in the collective and community, and they often migrate to other countries without any facing problems if they feel existential and survival crisis. Fear of insecurity की बात करें तो due to unaccommodated influx of refugees, countries may feel that their resources are utilized by someone else and also get depleted, which may create a civil war-like situation like American Civil War regarding this, which no countries will afford. And various theories also validate this, like relative deprivation theory. So this is the time to frame sustainable, accountable, realistic policies through collaboration. Coming to the India की अगर हम बात करें, that is Bharat also faces the refugee problem from Myanmar, like influx of the Rohingyas, which are stateless ethnic minority group, primarily from Myanmar, Burma, which is recognized by the UN and other international organizations as one of the most persecuted minority group in the world. अगर हम genocide attack की बात करें, अगर remember करें August 2017 when military coup happened in the Myanmar, around 770,000 Rohingyas fled, which includes civilians, women, children, etc. But India took the initiative to address this problem, not just accommodating, but also giving citizenship through Citizenship Amendment Bill 2019, which stands for limited accommodation. I agree that there was a limited accommodation of the migrants due to some security concerns like state-sponsored terrorism. Despite limited accommodation, it is a way better than those countries who have no such framing, and despite India has not signed 1951 Refugees Convention, it has taken such a step. Coming to the remedies, which is my last topic, that is, there is a need to reform in existing bodies like UNHRC, UNICEF. In पे reform लाने की जरूरत है. For example, increasing access to the conflicted affected areas and source of funds should be improved and increased. Like in Syria and Rohingyas, they often faces the lack of funding. So government should comply with UNHRC in delivering of the essential services to the children also. Proper coordination between the member state is needed, and involvement of new technologies should be there, like drones for helping people. Like we can see during the COVID days, many countries use the drones to provide the basic necessities like medicine and all. Only then the purpose of the human civilization will fulfill. Accommodating and recognizing, then coming to this, through providing work visa, हम उनको work visa provide कर सकते हैं. As refugees or migrants are inevitable, हम ये मान चुके हैं कि they are inevitable, so we can utilize the masses in growing the economy of our country. Also, it will boost the country's manufacturing sector if they involve in big labor intensive industries like steel, cement, etc. Coming to the labor market contribution में अगर हम देखें तो in 2019 German Federal Employment Agency reported that over 4 lakh refugees had found jobs and apprenticeship in Germany. अगर हम एक स्टडी की बात करें जिसपे एक सीरियन रिफ्यूजीज हैं जिनका नेम है मोहम्मद अल इद्दीन, started working as a chef in Berlin, and his employment filled a gap in the restaurant industry and contributed to the local economy by paying taxes, spending huge in the earnings locally. इन युगांडा एंड जर्मनी की हम बात करें, इन द फील्ड ऑफ एजुकेशन एंड द कम्युनिटी कोहेशन की बात करें, तो युगांडा एंड जर्मनी इंटीग्रेटेड द रिफ्यूजीज चिल्ड्रन into the local schools, providing them with education facilities, skills, and this social cohesion will definitely reduce the tension between the refugees and host communities as well. एंड इन जर्मनी की बात करें तो जिसने अभी रिसेंटली एक वेलकम क्लासेस प्रोग्राम भी इनिशिएट किया, जिससे फॉर द रिफ्यूजीज चिल्ड्रन सो दैट they can't feel alienated. These children can bring diverse cultural background, enriching educational institution and environment. Hence, other countries should aspire to run these programs and frame policies in this regard. Coming to the addressing root cause by increasing diplomatic ties. As the world order keeps changing, world का order हमेशा change होता रहता है, and opportunity definitely knocks the door one day. So countries should grab the opportunities and should create economic dependence not by the compulsion but by the will. And there should be direct leader to leader talks to address the situation, whether it is Russia-Ukraine war, Israel-Gaza war, Myanmar war, etc. So that development of the human race should be possible peacefully. We should inspire from the Gandhi's idea of non-violence, which carry huge relevance in this uncertain, changing world, and resolving the dispute through Gandhian methodology like Satyagraha, trusteeship, which is towards finding the truth. Gandhi's philosophy of non-violence not only helps in India's freedom struggle, but also in American Civil War also, which was recognized by the Martin Luther through the James Lawson, who was non-violent activist, which was the key link between them. Also, India's concept of cosmopolitan world, that is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, and world is one family, gets relevance due to unstable world order prevalent nowadays. By disseminating the values of the humanity, we can often keep aware to the masses, as peoples are the soul for their country's growth. So when the peoples are aware, they can put pressure on the government to frame the policies in this regard. We can spread awareness by organizing plays, dramas related to sufferings which refugees faces, not only for the children but also for other people. At school level and college level, we can organize such awareness programs. And at international level, हम क्या कर सकते हैं? Film industries like Hollywood, Bollywood should pay attention to the ongoing sufferings faced by the refugees, migrants, and make some documentaries to address the root cause. And also there are some examples. There are existing documentaries like Born in Syria in existing, and Midnight Traveler also. We should watch these documentaries so that we can aware of their condition, what are they facing, and how are they coping with this striving situation. अगर हम कुछ कॉर्नर स्टोन एग्जाम्पल की बात करें, वी आर ऑल फैमिलियर विद द एल्बर्ट आइंस्टीन, who itself is a refugee and fled from the Nazi Germany and found refuge in the US. His work on the quantum mechanism and theory of relativity are highly praised. Also, we know that the first US secretary, female secretary, that is Madeleine Albright, she itself is a refugee, fled from the Czechoslovakia during World War II and later came to US. And the co-founder of the Google, that is Sergey Brin, itself is a refugee who fled from the Soviet Union with his family. These all personalities became the example to show the world that refugees have capacity to contribute in human civilization. They are not the burden anymore. This is all from my side. Thank you. एंड एट लास्ट मैं अपना वक्तव्य यहाँ से खत्म करना चाहूंगा. एक मुनव्वर राणा जो कि बहुत प्रोमिनेंट गजल है, वो कुछ लिखते हैं, राइटर हैं, उनका मैं कुछ 4 पंक्तियां आपके सामने करना चाहूंगा जो कि रिफ्यूजीज के ऊपर ही है. वी शुड इंस्पायर फ्रॉम दिस. सो मुनव्वर राणा जी लिखते हैं, मुहाजिर, जिनको हम लोग रिफ्यूजीज कहते हैं, वो कहते हैं कि मुजाहिर हैं, मुहाजिर हैं, मगर हम एक दुनिया छोड़कर आए हैं. तुम्हारे पास जितना है हम उतना छोड़कर आए हैं. मुहाजिर हैं मगर हम एक दुनिया छोड़कर आए हैं. तुम्हारे पास जितना है हम उतना छोड़कर आए हैं. कहानी का ये हिस्सा आज तक सबसे छुपा है. कहानी का ये हिस्सा आज तक सबसे छुपा है कि हम मिट्टी के खातिर अपना सोना छोड़ आए हैं. नई दुनिया बसा लेने की इस कमजोर चाहत में, नई दुनिया बसा लेने की इस कमजोर चाहत में पुराने घर की दहलीजों को सूना छोड़ आए हैं. अकीदत से कलाई पर जो एक बच्ची ने बांधी थी राखी, वो राखी छोड़ आए हैं, वो रिश्ता छोड़ आए हैं। धन्यवाद।
It was a very great presentation, Amit. Detailed, very well explained. और बहुत अच्छा लगा आपके सुनकर। और आपके इस प्रेजेंटेशन के बाद मुझे भी कुछ पंक्तियां याद आ रही है। बनो चांद तुम नील गगन के, दिनकर के हित ग्रहण न बनना। पुष्प बनो वीरों के पद के, कांटे बन पग में मत चुभना। हो इंसान हृदय के स्वामी, मर्म व्यथा इंसान की समझो। मानस पुत्र विधाता के हो, वसुधा हित अभिशाप न बनना। दया दृष्टि रखो जन जन पर तुम, निर्दय बन के प्रहार न करना। ताप हरो शीतल जल बन के, जल विप्लय से विनाश न करना। जल विप्लय से विनाश न करना। So thank you and congratulations Amit for your successful presentation. अब इसी के साथ हम अपने जो क्वेश्चन आंसर राउंड है उसकी तरफ बढ़ते हैं। हमारे ऑडियंस की कुछ क्वेरीज है जो मैं आपके सामने रखूंगा। So the first question is from Ajay Kumar. He's asking, how does the legal status of refugee children affect their access to basic services and opportunities?
Sir, could you please repeat the question?
Okay. How does the legal status of refugee children affect their social access to basic services and opportunities?
सबसे पहली बात, जैसे कि सोशल स्टेटस की बात करें कि उनका सोशल स्टेटस ऑल्सो दैट दे आर माइग्रेटिंग फॉर देयर फ्रॉम देयर नेटिव इन्वायरमेंट, लाइक जहाँ पे वो लोग रहते थे वहां से वो उठ के कहीं और कंट्रीज में जा रहे हैं, तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है उनको एक फीलिंग होगी एलियनेशन की कि वी आर न्यू टू दिस प्लेस, एंड ऑल्सो एंड द एग्जिस्टिंग जो दूसरे प्लेस के पीपल्स है वो इजिली उनको अकोमोडेट नहीं कर सकते। सो हमको एक ऐसा सबसे पहले जो मेरा रूट कॉज का कंसर्न था कि हमको मेजरली जो कंट्रीज के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है उनको खत्म करने की कोशिश करना चाहिए। और वेरियस हमने फिलॉसफी, जैसे जो गांधी जी की मैंने बात की, उनको उनके आइडियल्स को हमको थिंक करना चाहिए, एक बार रिविजिट करना चाहिए, जिससे हम पीसफुली इनके बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिजॉल्व कर सके, क्योंकि कोई भी कंट्रीज ये नहीं चाहेगी कि उनके यहाँ पे इन्फ्लक्स हो पीपल्स का, जिससे उनके रिसोर्स डिप्लीट हो। एंड ऑफन अगर वो आ रहे हैं तो उनको एकोमोडेट कर सकते हैं हम अगर लीगल पॉलिसीज बनाए, जिससे हम उनको अपनी इकोनॉमी में एक छोटा सा हिस्सा ही दे दे, जिससे कि वो हमारे, जैसे कि आज बहुत सारे डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज में लेबर्स की नीड होती है, तो व्हाई कांट वी यूटिलाइज देम एंड पेइंग apprenticeship or a salary for their work. So in that way we can legally accommodate them and also provide them sustainable life through which they can invest in their family as well as children also.
Okay, Amit. There is one more question from Akriti ma'am. How effective has the international community been in responding to the refugee crisis?
Sir, could you please explain? Your voice is very low.
Okay. How effective has the international community been in responding to the refugee crisis?
Yes. अगर हम बात करते हैं इफेक्टिवनेस की, तो लाइक अगर हम एक एग्जांपल ले, यूके ने एक स्टेप लिया हुआ है, जैसे कि रवांडा प्लान, जिसपे उन्होंने क्या किया है कि कुछ रिफ्यूजीज को not a well successful plan, but as an attempt to this, like they are shifting the influx of refugees to Rwanda, and they provide basic necessities. But despite this plan, there is a huge loopholes in it, like अगर हम उनको शिफ्ट कर रहे हैं तो देयर इज अ ट्रॉमा लाइक सिचुएशन। अगर उनको हम पहले तो वो वहां से माइग्रेट करके आ रहे हैं, उसके बाद हम उनको फिर उनको एक जगह से दूसरी जगह रीलोकेट कर रहे हैं, जिससे उनके माइंड में बहुत ही प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हो रही है। तो हमको उनको सस्टेन करना होगा विद प्रोवाइडिंग प्रॉपर फंड। अगर हम ये कर भी रहे हैं उनको रीलोकेट, तो उनकी जितनी भी मेंटल कंडीशंस है एज अ ह्यूमन राइट, जो कि एक बेसिक नीड होती है एक लाइफ की, कि वो बेसिक फूड शेल्टर ये सब अफोर्ड कर सके, उसके लिए हमें प्रॉपर फंड एट इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे एक फंड बना सकते हैं। जैसे कि हमने देखा कि GCF करके एनवायरमेंट के रिलेटेड हमने फंड बनाया, तो जो स्टॉकहोम कन्वेंशन का एक आउटकम था, वी कैन हैव सच कॉन्फ्रेंसेस एंड मेड फंड्स फॉर द ह्यूमन राइट्स एंड ऑल्सो, क्योंकि जो हमारा संविधान है, सबसे पहले हम संविधान ये कंपेल करता है रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स को और वहाँ के लीडर्स को कि हम पीपल्स के लिए काम करें, क्योंकि डेमोक्रेसी क्या है, डेमोक्रेसी टू द पीपल, बाय द पीपल, फॉर द पीपल। तो पीपल्स को हमको सेंटर में रखना पड़ेगा, और पीपल्स इंक्लूड्स चिल्ड्रन, वुमेन्स, वल्नरेबल सेक्शंस एज वेल। सो हमें इसके लिए काम करने के लिए मोटिवेशन भी हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से मिलती है, और इसके पहले हमको लोगों को जागरूक करना पड़ेगा थ्रू प्रोवाइडिंग through utilizing the international like spreading organizations like Hollywood, Bollywood. These are various platforms we can use them for disseminating information.
Okay, Amit. There is one more question from Kanhaiya Kumar. Why India is one of the preferable countries for refugees?
Yes. जैसे कि मैंने बात की कि हमारा जो कल्चर है, अगर हिस्टोरिकल कल्चर देखे, जैसे मैंने बताया कॉस्मोपॉलिटन वर्ड, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, जिसपे हम मानते हैं कि वर्ड हमारी एक फैमिली है, हम इससे इंस्पिरेशन हमें मिलती है। हमारे यहाँ पे कई ऐसे, जैसे गांधी जी जो कि पीस की बात करते हैं, कई ऐसे आइडियल्स उभर के सामने आते हैं जो लीडर्स को मोटिवेट करते हैं कि टू एकोमोडेट देम, as also there is a political benefits also, but giving them there is a political like vote banks and etc. Despite this, अगर कोई पावर में है तो वो हमेशा ये सोचेगा कि उसको क्या बेनिफिट है, बट द मेजर कंसर्न इज कि हम उनको, उनके लिए हम एक लॉ फ्रेम कर रहे हैं, हम उनको एकोमोडेट कर रहे हैं। दिस इज द बिग थिंग। डिस्पाइट अगर हम इंडिया की बात करें जिसने 1951 कन्वेंशन साइन नहीं किया, फिर भी हम उनको एकोमोडेट करेंगे बिकॉज ऑफ दीज आइडियल्स विच वर एग्जिस्टिंग फ्रॉम द एंशिएंट एंड द हिस्ट्री। सो यहाँ से हमको इंस्पिरेशन मिलती है और उनके तरफ एक काम करने के लिए जज्बा मिलता है।
Okay, Amit, very well answered. Now there is one more question. The last question I am taking from Jayendra. How can technology can be used to improve the education and well-being of refugee children?
Yes. So coming to the technology, जैसे कि हम देख रहे हैं कि आज हमारा वर्ल्ड ग्रो कर रहा है। वी आर इन 21st century, पीपल कंट्रीज आर मूविंग टू मून्स एंड स्पेसेस। सो टेक्नोलॉजी का एक बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले होता है। जैसे कि हम कोविड लॉकडाउन का एग्जांपल लेते हैं, जहाँ पे सारे स्कूल्स क्लोज हो गए थे, फिर भी हमारी जो एजुकेशन थी वो ऑनगोइंग रही। हमने ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लगवाया, प्रॉपर असेसमेंट कंडक्ट हुए, प्लेटफॉर्म्स क्रिएट हुए जहाँ पे पर डे पेरेंट्स से डिस्कशन प्लस बच्चों का असेसमेंट हम लोग भेजते रहे। और रही बात टेक्नोलॉजी इन रिफ्यूजीज के ऊपर, तो हम उनको एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं, बट उसके लिए टेक्नोलॉजी सक्सेस होने के लिए हमको पहले फंडामेंटल्स स्ट्रॉन्ग करने पड़ेंगे। उनको एक बेसिक फूड, शेल्टर, ये सब प्रोवाइड करना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद कहीं टेक्नोलॉजी का रोल प्ले होगा। क्योंकि फंडामेंटल्स अगर कंट्रीज का वीक होगा तो हम चाहे जितनी बड़ी से बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी को एकोमोडेट कर लें, वो हम नहीं कर सकते, उसको रन नहीं कर सकते, उसका सक्सेसफुल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं हो सकता। क्योंकि हमें लेटर एंड स्पिरिट में हमको बात करनी है, ना कि हमको सिर्फ उनको एकोमोडेट करना इन थ्योरी और इन पेपर। सो उसके पहले हमको फंडामेंटल्स को स्ट्रॉन्ग करना है, देन वी कैन यूज द टेक्नोलॉजी टू प्रोवाइड देम बेटर एजुकेशन फैसिलिटी। दैट्स इट, दैट्स ऑल।
ओके अमित, बहुत ही खूबसूरती से आपने सारे सवालों के जवाब दिए। अब और एक प्रश्न है, हम जीएसटीएस की तरफ से आपसे पूछना चाहते हैं कि जीएसटीएस के साथ आपका जो एक्सपीरियंस है वो कैसा रहा?
सर, दिस इज अ वेरी गुड एक्सपीरियंस विद द जीएसटीएस टीम, स्पेशली मनीष कंबार सर, जिन्होंने मुझे गाइड किया इसके थ्रू, और मुझे इस जीएसटीएस के थ्रू एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिला जहाँ पे मैं अपनी बातों को सामने रख सकता हूँ कि कैसे वर्ल्ड में जो प्रेवेलेंट जो कंडीशंस है, पीपल्स क्या फेस कर रहे हैं, न्यू जैसे कि वर्ल्ड तो ग्रो कर ही रहा है, तो उसके साथ साथ न्यू इमरजेंस चैलेंजेस भी हमको फेस करने पड़ेंगे। सो एज अ स्टूडेंट, एज अ स्कॉलर, व्हाट आई फील, वो मैंने अपने वक्तव्य में बताया, अपनी टॉक में बताया। और थैंक्स फॉर द जीएसटीएस टीम फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग मी दिस प्लेटफॉर्म टू एक्सप्रेस माई सेल्फ। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू अमित।
एक्सपीरियंस।
थैंक यू अमित, हम भी बहुत खुश है कि आप हमसे जुड़े। अब आइए जानते हैं कि हमारे जो आज की गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर है मोरामी मैम, उनसे कि उनको आपका टॉक जो है वो कैसा लगा। एंड विद दिस आई वुड लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट मैम कि आप मैम जीएसटीएस की इस जो एक मुहिम चली है उसके बारे में भी आप अपने जो विचार है वो उन सबके साथ साझा कीजिए।
Okay. Uh, Good evening and namaste to all. First of all, am I audible? Hello? Yes,
Yes, ma'am,
okay.
you're.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
First of
Yes.
all, I'd like to thank our mentor, our guide, Dr. Manish Karma sir. He's our mentor in my department, for inviting me as a guest of honor. And of course, I'm a very regular in this platform in every Sunday. More or less, I am present as an audience. And every time, I learn something very new, something new and attractive from you, all of you, that all graduate scholars. You people are very excellent. Today also, I must say that it was an excellent presentation from the side of Amit, and it was really excellent presentation. PPT was very attractive and full of information. It was so nicely made. Such may every time I have learned something new. Today also I learned that how to make a PPT, including all the information together in a very few PPT, but many information are there, and it was clear from the viewer's point of view. It is clear. Yes. So now, coming to the paper, the heading was Refugee Crisis and Children. The topic itself is a kind of disturbing, sensitive, and emotional. Refugee, and as you told that you are a migrant. I think migration and refugee are different words. Okay, I am also migrant. I migrated from Assam to Delhi many years back. Still, I am a migrant, and at the very first few years, I was also facing many difficulties in the form of language, in the form of food habit, in the form of way of talking and all. But we gradually everything is coped up, and now I am a proud Delhite also. Okay, so your topic is very sensitive, emotional, and full of information. It is very touching. And refugee word itself is disturbing. What I already told you, it means a person who has been compelled to leave his native place due to war, as you already told, or due to sometimes natural disaster also. Okay, and when we migrated, we are not compelled. Actually, it was our choice. As you migrate, you have migrated from your place to Delhi due to study. I migrated also from Assam to Delhi for study or for some other purposes, but we were not compelled. But when somebody or a group of people were compelled to migrate, uh, their loss is irreversible. You cannot refill their losses. Okay, and everything was so nicely presented in your paper, and it was systematic. You first told why did you choose that topic. You told the reason. Then objectives were also there, so nicely described. Everything till the end. You have given some solution also. You have given some limitations of your paper. It was really a good paper from my point of view. Uh, and one more point I have written here. Yes. Um, Yes, your paper was presented on the basis of Russia-Ukraine war mainly, but there are so many refugee problems all over the world. Some topics, of course, you have pointed out, like in Africa also there are many refugee problems. Are there Rohingya problems in different uh, countries, including India also? So in that cases, always the children are the worst sufferer, and women also, because they are most vulnerable sections among the group of people or among the refugees. Yes, and at last, what to say, I don't know, but your paper is really touching my heart. And as you and one more speaker, that is Manthan, I think his name, he recited, you and Manthan recited very nice poems, Panktiya in Hindi, and half of this Panktiya I could not understand actually. Main meaning I could understand. हिंदी में मैं बहुत अच्छा नहीं हूँ, फिर भी पंक्तियां लेकिन सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है, but word to word I could not understand. So as you as you recite these punctias, when I yesterday told my teacher, Manish Karma sir, that the topic was related to refugee and children, at that time, one picture came to my mind. I saw the picture during my childhood, many years back. I'm I'm an older student, okay, oldest student actually in my department. Okay, so in my childhood, I saw a picture in a there was a magazine came from Soviet Union. At that time, Soviet Union was there, and the name of the magazine, it was in Assamese. Came from Moscow directly. Soviet Days. सोवियत देश नाम करके एक मैगजीन आया था और probably quarterly magazine था. There I saw a picture. A few children were there. They were kept in the concentration camp of Hitler. Okay, there are maybe 12, 13 children were there. They were kept there to kill later on. Okay, now also I feel so much uneasy and my goosebump came. And that picture came suddenly to my mind. Oh my God, refugee and the condition of the children, that picture imprinted in my mind. And so today I was very eager to know what is your talk regarding the children, the condition of the children when they became refugee. So Amit, your presentation was very, very beautiful, full of facts, and every answer, everything you presented in such a brilliant way. Okay, even I am not good in presentation always. I'm afraid of saying something, but all answers, each and every answer, everything you presented very in an intelligent way, brilliant way. So keep it up, and a sky will be limit for you people. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your knowledgeable words, and thank you for encouraging us. आपने कीमती समय निकाल के हमारा सेशन अटेंड किया, उसके लिए भी थैंक यू. So now moving forward, let me call our next speaker. Gungun Dubey, and she will be speaking on the topic social justice. So I would like to request Gungun, please come and introduce your topic.
Very good evening to all of you. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this chance as I can introduce myself here. My name is Gungun Dubey, and I have recently done my graduation from Rajdhani College, University of Delhi. So I've chosen the topic which is global justice and climate change. So climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a global issue. And it's a issue that we are facing today. So let me introduce my objectives with you all. Firstly, I want to raise awareness to the audience. As you will listen to me, you will understand the global justice, why we need it, and the primary objectives of global justice. And second one, foster critical thinking. I would challenge the audience to think critically that how can your initiative and your role can help in global system, and how their actions can contribute to global justice, and how can we establish it. And the fourth one, I will empower the youth and future generation that how can our role and how can we initiate that we can save our environment, as all over the world is facing climate change. The poor countries and we all human beings are facing these kind of problems like pollution, air pollution, and so on. I will encourage personal responsibility, that what are the initiatives and the roles we can play in our daily life to overcome the problem climate change. Thank you so much. I will be very glad to see you all next Sunday. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सो मच गुनगुन. हम आप सभी को इनवाइट करते हैं कि अगले रविवार शाम 5 बजे हमसे जरूर जुड़िए. और इसी के साथ फाइनली मैं इस सेशन को वोट ऑफ थैंक्स के लिए मनीष सर के पास हैंड ओवर करता हूँ.
Thank you, Manthan. Again, it is a good Sunday where we had Amit Maurya. Usually, while discussing, I told him that Amit Malviya, but no, it's Amit Maurya. And wonderful that Murami is here, and it was she was my student at Department of African History, though, and she has a very nuanced understanding of these kind of ideas. Well done, Manthan. How you conduct the session, it was really inspiring for us also. And though Murami also told that these topic are very touchy topic because there are few more sessions on the refugees, I think so. But Amit chosen a very interesting, not interesting, a very diversified topic. How come a topic is interesting to talk about the refugees? Interesting in the sense that you raised a question, and that was question a very pertinent question in this field because I'm teaching these days Africa, and you know the refugee problem. Though I'm not very much convinced that in Africa there was the huge refugee problem. That was the Eurocentric approach because Africans are very much aware what they are doing and how they cross the border. But right now, two things happen. Everybody is looking about UK and France. Basically, the African people, they're looking for the UK and France because UK just had an election, and France, I think today is election day. And Amit just told that the Rwanda plan, the new prime minister has a very new idea that no Rwanda plan like this because they are not going to settle refugee in the Rwanda. So, Amit, it's a really good idea. And one, this is my idea because though I'm not a political science student or teacher, but from last so many years, from last 3,000 years or in the modern times, this refugee itself a problem because I had to start a article, VN Datta article, refugees in Delhi, Punjabi refugees in Delhi. How come a person refugee they're in own country? Punjabi refugee, they came from the other side of India. Now this is Pakistan, and they came to Delhi. And what you use? Refugee. So I'm very much not into that we were use word refugee. This is the time then we definitely we create some good word or some this kind of word because the this problem is going to be solved not by politics. This problem is going to solve by the philosophy and psychology. This is the refugee, the problem. These are because the political scientists or international relations people, they took so many times, there lot many years, but this is not the problem of political science or international relations. This is the problem of the totally philosophy and the psychological problem or sociological problem. So apart from the political, because we left these things for the international relations, I don't think so. Maybe my idea is very orthodox because we gave them abundant of time, because I know a few of the political science students with me here right now also, but we gave them abundant of time. But what's happened? Still, the refugee problem are going on from the slave trade, from this, that. So this is the time to build a platform where the sociologists, psychologists, the philosophers, they came and argue how we stop these things, because every country, every religion simply has a own idea. वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, हम उसको संस्कृत में बोलते हैं, कहीं उसको हिब्रू में बोला जाता है, कहीं इंग्लिश में, कहीं फ्रेंच में, but still this problem is persisting. So this is the real time to resolve these questions, because my young scholars like Gungun, Amit Malviya, they came, they talk about the refugee, they talk about the climate change, but still the climate change and refugee problem are the same. So what does it mean? It means we have to take some फर्दर स्टेट. अगर हम किसी चीज को पिछले कई सालों में नहीं खत्म कर पाए तो हमें एक नया स्टांस लेना पड़ेगा. Only seminars, international relations, green energy, green refugee. Suppose that in the coming date we use green, these are the green refugees. Likewise, green energy. So that is change the refugee problem. So orthodox idea, come together about to the philosophical, sociological, and psychological level. But for giving us a very good idea about the refugee and the children in two or three good discussions before your presentation, and you have changed your so many ideas, and you came with firstly you came with the with a very apt form. He wanted to do each and everything. Suddenly, with the discussions, we came at one level that Amit is going to talk about the children, and our guest. Yes, so refugee and great problem are same, but somehow when you anybody tease you in Delhi, like you're from Assam, you're from UP, you go to the Bombay, you're from North India, you're from South, go to the Himachal, go to the Uttarakhand, the people of Delhi, they are going to police. Please say after that we talk these kind of issues. Thank you, Rami. Uh, for giving us a wonderful depiction
Thank you, sir.
and really my all graduate MA, MPhil and PhD students and some of the teachers from the different colleges. I think thank you very much that you people join and keep going. And this is the 175th GSTS. It's a thanks, Mr. Karman. Just a time. It's a continuous persistency from small team to right so many challenges because my few moderators are very busy, but it's still running this thing amicably. Thank you for all listeners and Gungun. I think you are. Is my turn?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.